Archimedes was a Greek engineer and inventor who is regarded as the greatest mathematician of antiquity and one of the greatest of all time. He is credited with a huge number of inventions that are still in use today, such as the Archimedes screw, and he is referred to as the father of mathematics and mathematical physics. Almost nothing is known of Archimedes' life except that he was born in Syracuse, Sicily around the year 287 BC. His father, an astronomer, was named Phidias, and it is thought that his family was one of an upper class or possibly nobility, as they could afford to send him to Alexandria for an education. After pursuing his studies, he went back to Syracuse to live in his native city.
Archimedes' true passion was mathematics. He made many discoveries, and today he is considered one of the greatest mathematicians in history. Some of his discoveries were in the field of geometry, where he worked with spheres, cylinders, circles, and parabolas. He also calculated the value of phi very accurately using a process called the method of exhaustion. He even used something called infinitesimals to perform math similar to modern-day calculus.
Working for the king. There are many stories about how and why Archimedes came up with his many inventions. Several of them tell how King Herod II would request Archimedes to solve different problems. Archimedes would then go off and come up with some ingenious way to help out the king. Silver or gold. One day, the king received a new crown, made from pure gold. However, he suspected that the goldsmith may have used some silver in the crown to save money. He asked Archimedes to figure out if it was a pure gold. Archimedes wasn't sure what to do. He knew the density of gold, the density of silver, but how he could determine the volume of the crown? He figured it out while taking a vat. He could measure the amount of water the crown displays, and then he could compare that with the weight of the object. Once he had this information, he could determine if the density of the crown matched with pure gold.
Archimedes used his mathematical skills and geniuses to create useful inventions. One of his most famous inventions is called Archimedes' screw. It was a device that could lift water to higher levels. One of its first uses was to pump water out from leaking ships. It is still used today in some places to move water from low bodies of water to irrigation ditches.
Defending Syracuse. One of the major events in Archimedes' lifetime was the attack of Rome on Syracuse. Archimedes devoted his talents to defending his city from Romans and came up with some fascinating inventions. Two of his most famous were the claw of Archimedes and heat rays. Claw of Archimedes. The claw of Archimedes was a large crane with a grappling hook on the end of it. When an enemy ship came close to the crane, it would hook the ship's prow and then the tip. Then the ship is over. Heat ray. Legend has it that Archimedes used mirrors to concentrate rays from the sun and set enemy ships on fire. This likely would not have worked, but perhaps it was used to distract or blind the enemy ships.
Story how he died. According to Plutarch, Archimedes was engaged in some calculations on the beach when he was approached by a Roman soldier who summoned him to follow. Archimedes was so deeply engaged with whatever he was doing, he allegedly told the man, "Do not disturb my circles," referring to the diagrams he had drawn in the sand. These are said to have been his last words as the soldier. Not recognizing him, drew his sword and killed him. It has also been suggested that the soldier knew who he was and killed him to avenge many Romans who had died from his inventions.